Biden has 4,000 lawyers on standby in Florida for possible election recount. Interesting fact, Biden's current chief of staff was also the chief of staff of Al Gore in 2000. I would like to assume he has spent 20 years planning how to stop this from happening again. He'll need them. It's been a long year and we better not end it with a repeat of 2000. For everyone not reading the one-paragraph article, Biden has also stationed lawyers from the Obama administration throughout the nation as well. Lawyers, stand back and stand by. Bring lawyers, guns, and money, the shit has hit the fan. /Warren Zevon. Democratic nominee Joe Biden has a whopping 4,000 lawyers standing by or already working in Florida to either avoid or combat an election recount next week, according to New York Magazine. The attorneys have been examining ballot designs, monitoring local officials who've been counting the state's early votes, and watching canvassing boards. The MAG reports that the goal of these thousands of Democratic lawyers is to ensure that as many votes as possible are counted so as to pave the way for a clear victory in the key swing state. Biden has also stationed lawyers from the Obama administration throughout the nation as well. Wow, that's a ton of lawyers covering ground. I guess that's where all that campaign money is going. Dear God, please don't let it come to this. Please let it be a decisive landslide, so we don't have to endure any more of this Trump misery. The sheer cost of removing Trump from office if he loses is just astounding to me. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of how much this fucking guy has cost our country. Ugh. I requested a mail-in ballot and it got all approved. It's October 30th and I still haven't received it. Called up Clay County cause I'm stuck in Seattle working and they said it got sent back from the postal office about 2 weeks ago as an undeliverable address. They also said they don't call because there are too many being returned. Ma'am, if I had to go out of my way to request a ballot and it gets sent back, I better be made aware of it. That's voter suppression. Now I have to figure out a way to get to Florida in less than 4 days. The election will be over Tuesday night. I'm calling it. Biden will pick up a completely unexpected state, thus thwarting any opportunity for Trump to take the Electoral College, and removing any need for extensive litigation. Bold claim, but I'm sticking with it. Have lived my entire life in Georgia and something big is definitely afoot here. Now you understand why Biden has continued to ask for donations even at this point. If this goes to the courts, the lawyers are going to be a tad expensive. What about Pennsylvania? Or North Carolina? Or Georgia? Especially Georgia. Man, I cannot form a future view for November 4th. Seems it'll be a landslide for Biden that cannot be overcome with election count delays, etc. We'll need to be on guard for right-wing hooligans. Between November 4th and January 20th, who the hell knows what kind of things an acting out Trump will do and the unrest he could stir up. What do y'all think? Fun fact, 0% of the people in this thread read the article, including me. Imagine that fucking Zoom call, deleted. This is my first election in Florida and having my vote count so much is exciting yet so nerve-wracking. Early voting alone was nuts, campaigners everywhere and so many mega hats. Sadly, while I find this impressive, I think the larger issues are the courts and politicians who control them. It's one thing to have an army of lawyers ready to go against another army of lawyers. It's another thing to battle against armies of lawyers, judges, state representatives, governors, state senators, federal House representatives. Not to mention the WH, the DOJ, the SC, the GOP. Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, OAN, 4chan, 8chan, Facebook, Proud Boys, 3% ERS, Patriot Prayer, Evangelicals, and Canon. We are about to experience the full force of MAGA in the following weeks. This is not enough. We need state officials to step up and be ready to defy the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court says stop counting, the response needs to be fuck you. Take me to jail for counting votes. Bush v. Gore was only able to hand the election to Bush because the votes weren't counted by the state deadline, because the Supreme Court ordered them to stop counting. They can't be allowed to pull a similar bullshit stunt. People need to be ready to step up and go to jail for what's right here. And Biden should be 100% ready to pardon or commute any sentences. Silly season. 4,000 lawyers, $1,000 retainers. $4 million. Plus admin costs. Still, Trump needs to counter that cost and effort. For those who aren't getting it. Asterisk contesting the results because you want all votes counted. And asterisk contesting the results because you want large numbers of votes thrown out. Are not even fucking close to being the same. Well, Trump has infinity lawyers plus one. And they all graduated from Ultra Harvard. It's better than regular Harvard because you have to graduate from loser Harvard at 15 to even get into Ultra Harvard. Then you're the best, better than the best, even better. And those are the lawyers Trump has. And he makes the lawyers pay themselves to sue the Democrats because they believe in Trump so much that they pay themselves. And he has the money to actually pay them. Glad they're not taking any chances. Tuesday is going to be such a stressful day. What about Pennsylvania? But does he have Morgan and 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 Morgan? And everyone a lawyer Trump stiffed. 4,000 lawyers together in one spot. I'm surprised a portal to the underworld doesn't open up there. I'm not at all concerned about the election being stolen from Biden. I don't think the race is close enough. I'm 100% terrified that the real legal battle is for control of the Senate. That's where there will be recounts and thrown out ballots, and control will likely be decided by a single race that's decided by a few hundred votes. The Senate races are where the Democratic legal operation needs to shift to. I'm a polite Canadian, but I wouldn't piss on Trump if he was on fire. WTF is happening? The big orange clown is so very clearly out to screw the American people as a whole for his whole gain. It's taken 4 years to prove that without any doubt, and the worrying thing is that he still has a significant level of supporters. What on earth is this world coming to? Wake up. And yes, this is coming from someone from a different country, but with plenty of friends in the States, and yes too, Boris and his cronies are equal idiots. I made this point in a conversation in a different thread. Nobody is going to sit back and let Trump and the GOP steal anything. There is an army of interconnected allies from sea to shining sea ready to stomp all over every desperate attempt to undermine our elections. They might have gaslit the general population into a panic, but there are a lot of feet on the ground waiting to fight back should anything go down. This is the right move. There is no way to describe how right this move is. It's just perfect. Doesn't that bother anybody that it's always Florida that messes the election? And that 4,000 lawyers are necessary to oversee what is supposed to be a fair process? Weird, almost like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, well, I got 2 pounds of meth, a backyard full of free possums, and enough shotguns to jack off an army. I am standing by and standing down till those lawyers show up and try to take my freedom. I'm proud to say my sister and her firm have drafted hundreds of pages for this cause. We need to be ready to prevent another Brooks Brothers riot. We need to protect, physically, potential recount locations. Warning: if you're a lawyer for Trump, make sure to get paid before you do the work. Imagine being able to pay 4,000 lawyers.